What's up, guys? Weldon Customs here, and today we are taking a look at my unofficial AEW World Championship. And this is probably the cheapest one you can get on eBay, or online that is, which I got mine on eBay. After searching all over online, eBay, different websites, I've noticed there are so many different people or companies making this unofficial AEW belt, and they all pretty much are a little bit different here and there. The prices range from like $150 all the way to like 700 plus, or even 1,000 if you really want to go crazy. So it really depends on what you want to spend on an unofficial AEW belt. Obviously, the more you spend, the better it will be. It will be thicker plates. It'll have dual, triple plating on it as well. But I actually wanted to see how the cheapest one even looks like. It's only single plated, 2mm plates, but you also have to ask yourself, what are you going to use it for the time being at least? As a display piece for me, I think it's pretty good. Alright, so first off, when I got the package, it is from Pakistan, so you do have to understand most of these belts are coming from overseas, unless you get it from a reputable belt maker here in America or wherever. But the packaging was fine, no problems there at all. They come with a little baggie of stones right here, which is pretty nice, because of any kind of belt that's heavily stoned like this, it's nice to have extras just in case they fall off, which is pretty nice to have. But overall, the belt stuff, I think it gets the job done pretty well. It's not 100% accurate, of course, let alone the fact that there's no dual plating on it at least. That would have been nice, but I didn't really want to spend the extra like $60 on that. But the design itself is a little bit different as well. I know this part right here is supposed to be more pointy at the end right here, like this, but it isn't. It's a little bit smaller too. The size of the belt itself is, I believe it's smaller than it should be, of course, but it's not a small belt though. It's still a pretty decent sized belt, which I like. But it's going over the edges. I mean, I know a lot of people could probably nitpick this belt, saying how horrible it probably is, or it's not accurate. But like I said, taking off the dual plating itself, taking that out of consideration, I think it's got down the more important stuff, like all the AEW logos right here. It does have the globes right here on the side. It's not that bad as a display piece to have. Alright, now that I have the belt flattened out right here, I want to take a look quickly at the leather strap. On the descriptions when I bought it, it was labeled as 100% genuine leather, and which is not bad actually. I have to admit, it's a pretty good quality. I'm kind of used to like WWE belts, so that's the only kind of leather belts, which is not really leather anyway. But I do like this. It's a little more flexible, which is nice. So I like that. You do have the AEW stamps on it right there, which is pretty cool too. You do have 6x2 snaps right there, the male ones. You do have a clamshell going along the sides of the belt right here. Here on this side, you do still have the AEW stamps into the leather right there. And you have another 6x2 female snaps. And this one does have the AEW belt tip right here, which is not accurate to the real one, but I actually do like it though. It's a nice touch. It does add some more weight as well to the strap, so that's pretty good too if you decide to have that over your shoulder. Now let's take a look at the other side of the strap. And I like this a lot because they actually cover up the other end so you don't see the bolts and stuff like that, which is pretty nice. It's a nice touch, and even WWE doesn't do that on their cheaper belts, so that's pretty good to have. The funny part is right here for the belt tip is only on one side, but you can kind of see it where it was screwed in, but they covered it up. So pros and cons. Not bad though. Now this is, like I said before, a 2mm plate belt. It's on brass plates. It does have some weight to it. It's not that heavy though. It's only probably like 4 pounds, a little bit more than that. But it's still pretty nice. It do have some weight to it, which is, I've had other belts that are really light and literally have no weight to it, so it's still pretty good though. Now, talking about the dimensions of this belt itself, the strap is about 4 feet long. Right here, it's about 4 inches wide. From the center of the belt right here, it's about 11 inches long. The center plate now, it's about 10 inches long. Alright, so size comparison time. So here is the big gold belt and also the NXT championship with the unofficial AEW belt right here. Obviously that is the big gold belt. Hard to say any belt is going to be bigger than that most of the time. But here it is with the NXT belt. As you can see, it's a really comparable size overall. It's not that bad. It's a really weird shaped belt, honestly, because like most belts, you know, the center plate is supposed to cover the whole body in the front, even the NXT one. But like with this one, their center plate is actually a little bit slimmer, you know, down the middle. You know, height wise, you know, it could be better, but the way it's made actually is that these two plates at the end and the middle are supposed to still also be around the front, while the small ones at the end are supposed to be on the side, at the side plate. So it's a really interesting, awkward looking belt sometimes. You could even see it in AEW when they wear it or have it on their shoulders. It's kind of awkward, but it's a nice design though, which is kind of weird. It's a really weird design, but it's something that's like, you can't deny that it's a really nice looking belt. And for another size comparison, here are some other belts in my collection. These are both from Undisputed Belts. It's like a custom belt maker, which is not bad too. It's pretty fun to have these kind of custom belts you can make your own. But you can see side by side how they look like. And these honestly are like probably less than 2mm plates, honestly. Maybe they are, but they seem a little bit slimmer in my opinion. So I know what like these are light belts compared to this one right here. Alright, so here is the belt. Like I said before, it's probably not 100% accurate to the size it is on TV, but it's still a pretty decent sized belt, honestly. Remember, only 2mm plated, no dual plating. I think it still honestly gets the job done. Very nice. And a couple of things I do like about this belt is that, you know, it's only $170, right? I don't have to baby this belt. I mean, I have like an official NXT belt that's, you know, over $300. I baby it sometimes. I don't want to get it banged up. I don't want to get a scratch on it. This one, I don't have to care that much about. And honestly, it's a little bit kind of peace of mind knowing that. It's a good feeling. And like I said, it's a nice belt. Honestly, you could get a better one if you spend over $200. I think in the $250 range, you could definitely get a nice, maybe 2mm or 3mm dual-plated one. I think you'd be a lot happier with that one probably. But I actually wanted to see what the cheapest one can get me. I'm really happy about it. Honestly, it's not bad. You know, even though it's 2mm plated, only single layered, you still have a lot of designs in there, a lot of grooves, different patterns, you know, indents in the designs. It's still nice. You know, you do have some texture to it, obviously, which is good. And definitely shows when you look at it. So yeah, it's up to you guys. You want to spend, I mean, like I said before, there's a lot of different belt makers out there that's, you know, you could definitely spend $500, $600 on the belt. Get the best version out there. That's awesome. You know, or you can spend around $150 to $250 and you get a decent one. And if you're just using it as a display piece, you know, you can't go wrong. So I hope this video was helpful. I just want to show it off. You know, I really didn't know that much about like these bootleg belts, honestly, until I started looking for this. I didn't even know there's a whole community out there, which is not a good thing, obviously. You don't want to encourage bootleg belts, but it's out there. It's not that bad too. If I had to do it over again, like I said before, I probably would have spent maybe in a $200, $250 range on a dual plated one at least. But I'm still happy with this one, and it definitely has its pros and cons. It definitely has its pros and cons. It's not the most accurate. It's good enough in my opinion. It's one of the, like I said, one of the pros about it is that it's only $170, and I don't have to baby it, which is really nice. And that's about it, guys. I hope this video was helpful. And like always, comment, criticize, subscribe. Do whatever you want to pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Like the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace.